Taurus Horoscope 2017. Major trends. Uranus has been in your spiritual 12th house for many years now. This is creating change, and much experimenting, in your spiritual life and practice. Many of you have changed teachers, teachings and practices over the years, and the trend is continuing. Since Uranus is also your career planet, this transit indicates a growing idealism about your career and life work. Just being successful and prominent in your profession is not enough for you. It leaves you vaguely dissatisfied. You need to be involved in things that really matter, that truly benefit others and the whole planet. In a year or two, Uranus will enter your sign and will stay there for many years, bringing dramatic and sudden change into your life. Taurus folk are not very comfortable with change. They love the status quo and routine. It's predictable and stable. But very soon now you'll have to learn to be comfortable with change. We'll discuss this further in 2018. Jupiter has been in your 6th house of health and work since September last year and will be here for most of the year ahead, until October 10th. This is a good health message. If there have been any pre-existing conditions, you should hear good news about them. This also indicates that dream job opportunities are coming to you. If you hire others, you're expanding the workforce. Children and children figures in your life are prospering. Jupiter will enter your 7th house of love on October 11th. For singles, this indicates love and serious relationships, perhaps even marriage. For those already attached, it brings new friends and an expanded, more active, social life. Your religious beliefs have had a real testing over the past 2 years, and this continues in the year ahead. This is usually not pleasant, but it is good. It forces you to rethink and reevaluate these beliefs. In many cases they get modified or even discarded. This will be complete by the end of the year. Saturn's move into your 9th house at the end of the year, on December 21st, affects mostly college-level students. They have to work harder at their studies. They need more discipline. They have to succeed in school by sheer merit, without any gamesmanship. Your areas of greatest interest this year are health and work, until October 10th, love and romance, from October 11th onwards, personal transformation, personal reinvention, sex and occult studies, until December 21st, religion, higher education, foreign travel, group activities, the online world, and spirituality. Your paths of greatest fulfillment this year are children, fun and creativity, until April 29th, home, family and emotional wellness, from April 29th onwards, health and work, until October 10th, love and romance, from October 11th onwards. Health. Health looks excellent this year. Until October 10th there are no long-term planets in stressful aspect to you. And even after October 11th, only Jupiter will be in stressful alignment, and he is not a maleficent kind of planet. In addition, your health house is very strong until October 10th. So your attention is focused here. You're on the case. In fact, if anything, you might be too much on the case, more than is necessary. Often this leads to a tendency to magnify trifling problems into big ones. As we mentioned earlier, pre-existing conditions should be much improved this year. Your health is basically good, but there will be periods in the year when your health and energy are less good. These things come from planetary transits. They are temporary things and not trends for the year. When the challenging transits pass, normal health and energy return. Good though your health is, it can be made even better. Pay attention to the following. The neck and throat. These are always important for a Taurus. Regular neck massages will be a potent pick-me-up and a preventive for future problems. Craniosacral therapy is also good for the neck. The kidneys and hips. These are also always important for a Taurus. Venus, the ruler of those areas, is your health planet. Regular hip massage, and the buttocks too, should be incorporated into the health regime. A herbal kidney cleanse might be a good idea if you feel under the weather. The liver and thighs. These only became important since September 2016, but they remain so for most of the year ahead, until October 10th. Regular thigh massage will be good. A herbal liver cleanse would also help. Since these are the most vulnerable health areas in your chart this year, problems, if they happened, God forbid, would most likely begin here. Thus keeping them healthy and fit is sound preventive medicine. As Venus is such a fast-moving planet, she will move through every area of your chart in a given year. There are many short-term health trends that depend on where Venus is at any given time and the aspects she receives. This is best covered in the monthly reports. Since Venus is both the ruler of your horoscope and your health planet, she serves double duty in your chart. There is a strong connection between health and personal appearance. Your state of health instantly reflects itself in your personal appearance. Good health will do more for your looks than hosts of cosmetics, perfumes and powders. Jupiter is the ruler of your 8th house of transformation. Thus his position in your house of health gives a tendency towards surgery. This is often seen as the quick fix to a problem. Sometimes it is, sometimes not. Detox regimes should be explored first. You can get good results with these. Home and family. Your 4th house of home and family wasn't strong last year and is not strong in the year ahead either. This can be seen as a kind of contentment with things as they are. It tends to the status quo. You have no pressing need to make dramatic changes here. Of course, there are going to be periods of excitement and family drama. Every year there are at least 2 solar eclipses and this year is no different. There is a solar eclipse on February 26th and on August 21st. Since the Sun is your family planet, these eclipses produce important changes. Perhaps there is some hidden problem in the home, perhaps a family member has some hidden problem or grievance. The eclipse will force these things to the surface so that you can deal with them. This year, you're also affected by a lunar eclipse, February 11th, that occurs in your 4th house. This will bring more of what we mentioned above. But these are temporary things that soon pass. And when they do, it's back to the status quo. We will cover the effect of the eclipses in more detail in the monthly reports. Siblings and sibling figures in your life are likely to move this year. The move seems happy, it could be job-related. A parent or parent figure is also likely to move, after October 11th. Children or children figures are not advised to move, however, though they might want to. They seem more depressed this year. Counseling therapies or meditation will be a big help to them, but a move will not do much for their psychological state. Grandchildren, if you have them, have been moving around a lot in recent years, and could do so this year too. They seem emotionally restless. Even if they don't actually move, they will renovate their existing home or spend much time in other places. It will be as if they have moved. If you're planning to redecorate or beautify the home in cosmetic kinds of ways, that is to repaint, or change the curtains, or buy objet d'art for the home, July 22nd to September 20th is a good time. If you're planning major repairs, construction projects, July 20th to September 5th is a good time. The health of a parent or parent figure is much improved over previous years. He or she could benefit from detox regimes. He or she has a tendency to surgery. Children and children figures will benefit from vigorous exercise, head, face and scalp massage. Siblings and sibling figures need a disciplined daily regime. More attention to the liver, thighs, spine, knees, teeth and bones will be very helpful. Finance and career. Your money house hasn't been prominent for many years now. You are always focused on money, but of late, less so than usual, Taurus. This too I read as a good thing. It shows contentment with things as they are. There are no pressing needs to make dramatic changes. You sort of take prosperity for granted, which is as it should be. However, if financial problems arise, lack of attention, taking your eyes off the ball, is a likely cause. You'll have to force yourself to focus more. In spite of the empty money house, I expect your year to be prosperous. There are no major financial impediments. You have a lot of financial freedom. Taurus is free to be Taurus, prosperous. We mentioned earlier that there are lucrative job opportunities this year. Also, those of you running a business will be hiring more people. This is not a message of poverty. After October 11th, when Jupiter enters your 7th house, there is prosperity for the current love, spouse or partner. He or she will have substantial financial windfalls and money-happy opportunities. You will socialize more with money people-rich people. If you have good ideas, it seems easy to attract investors. Mercury, your financial planet, is a very fast-moving planet, as our regular readers know. Only the moon moves faster than him. In a given year he will move through every sector of your horoscope. This shows that earnings and earnings opportunities can come to you in many ways and through many different kinds of people, depending on where Mercury is at any given time. These short-term trends are best dealt with in the monthly reports. Mercury will be retrograde 4 times this year, as he was last year too. This is unusual. Normally he travels backwards only 3 times a year. So, this year more homework, more reviews of your financial goals, strategy and investments are necessary. More so than usual. When Mercury is in retrograde motion, the financial thinking is not what it should be, thus the most important thing is to gain mental clarity and resolve your doubts. When this happens, you'll be able to make good moves when Mercury starts to move forward again. This year Mercury's retrograde periods are January 1st-8, April 9th to May 3rd, August 11th to September 5th and December 3rd-23. We will discuss this further in the monthly reports. Your 10th house of career is also empty this year, indicating that career is not a major focus. Again, this should be read in a good way. You seem content with things as they are and have no pressing need for change. Changes will definitely happen. Uranus, your career planet, is the planet of change, but they are likely to be happy. As has been the case for many years now, it is good to enhance your career by being involved in charitable and altruistic causes. These are good for their own sakes, but will also cement your professional image. Important career contacts will also be made. Your technological skills and online activities in general will enhance the career too. Siblings and sibling figures will have a stable financial year, although the eclipses, as mentioned above, will force changes in their financial thinking and strategy. The spouse, partner or current love interest will prosper, as we have mentioned. He or she has excellent financial intuition until October 11th. Parents and parent figures also have a stable financial year. Children and children figures are prospering. Grandchildren, if you have them, seem content with things. Love and social life. Both 2015, the latter part, and 2016 were good love years. Many of you have married or entered into serious kinds of relationships. Socially, things have been quiet since last September, with no major developments one way or another. This too is a good signal. There is basic contentment here. This is the case until October 10th. But after that Jupiter enters into your 7th house of love and marriage, heating up and expanding the love life. Those of you involved in an existing relationship might decide to take it a step further and tie the knot. Those of you still unattached will start meeting marriage material people you would consider marrying. There will be many opportunities for serious relationships. The love life will bloom well into next year too. Pluto, the generic ruler of sex, is your love planet. Jupiter, the actual ruler of sex in your chart, will be in your 7th house. Need we have a clearer message? The sexual magnetism seems the most important thing to you. This is the primary allurement. Wealth doesn't hurt, but seems secondary to that. Good sex will cover many sins in a relationship or marriage, and problems here could threaten the relationship. If problems arise in the marriage or relationship, this area is what will need fixing. Good sex alone, no matter how good, is not enough to make a marriage work. Even the best of sexual chemistries will have a lifespan of about a year. Then they start to get a bit jaded. Other compatibilities need to be there. Pluto, your love planet, is in your 9th house of religion and philosophy, and Jupiter, the occupant of your 7th house, is the generic ruler of these things. So, the horoscope is saying that you need a good philosophical compatibility. It doesn't mean that you have to agree on every point, but it's important that you share a similar outlook on life, the same religious values, the same feelings of what life is all about, its meaning and purpose. There is an old saying, people who pray together, stay together. This is certainly true in your case. Problems in a relationship can be worked through in this way. It would also be good to take foreign trips together or take classes together as a couple. The philosophical harmony, the harmony of the higher mental bodies, needs to be strengthened. This strong 9th house connection in love shows other things too. Foreign countries are likely venues for romantic meetings. So is your place of worship or college. Religious or educational functions and gatherings bring romantic opportunity. People in your place of worship seem eager to make introductions. Often with these kinds of aspects one falls in love with the pastor, minister or professor. There is an attraction for highly educated people, mentor types. You like people you can learn from. If you are working on your first or second marriage, there is love this year and marriage opportunity. If you are working on your third marriage, your prospects improve after December 21st. Next year, 2018, will bring marriage opportunities. Self-improvement. The spiritual life, especially the abstract variety, is generally not that important to a Taurus. Taurus is down to earth and practical. Taurus sees life on earth, even the mundane things, to be spiritual. You're probably right too, you feel close to the divine when you are physically comfortable and at ease. But over the past 6 or 7 years this has begun to change. The spiritual life has not only been important but active and full of dynamic change. Very experimental. Very interesting. Uranus, ensconced in your 12th house, has seen to that. Your career is partly responsible for this. In order to get to where you want to go, your spiritual understanding must increase. And, in many cases, people involved in your career are on a spiritual path, and this has enhanced your interest. No matter, the divine knows exactly what will attract you. With Mars as your spiritual planet, you like the path of action. You like to express your spiritual ideals in positive actions. Silent meditation is generally not for you. You like to be doing something, building an orphanage, hospital or church. Feeding hungry people. Doing practical acts of charity. Being there for someone in hospital. This tendency is even more pronounced these days, and it's very good. But along with this, the horoscope is indicating some scientific, intellectual background too. Uranus is the planet of science. A scientific approach to the spiritual life will not diminish your actions, but enhance them. You will know why you're doing what you're doing. Your faith will be buttressed by knowledge. Uranus rules astrology. Astrology has a very strong spiritual basis to it. We call it esoteric astrology. It is a philosophy of the stars. Thus this is a valid spiritual path these days. Jnana Yoga, Hermetic science and Kabbalah would also be interesting. These are rational scientific approaches. Uranus in your 12th house shows spiritual experimentalism. This has its good and bad points. On the positive side, you learn what path, what approach works for you through trial, error and observation, the scientific method. On the negative side, it can make a person a spiritual faddist, running after the latest fads and trends, jumping from one to another. Spiritual progress takes persistence. If you jump around too quickly, you only delay yourself. The main challenge this year is integrating spirituality with the worldly career. Everyone finds their own personal solution to this. Some people opt for a spiritual type career. They work for a charity or start a non-profit organization and work at it full-time. Some people pursue a worldly career and start a non-profit business on the side. Some people get involved in charitable works while involved in a worldly career. You will find your solution for yourself. There are no rules about this.